Hey, this is Kim Reads Urantia. Nice to see ya. Okay, we're going to read from the Urantia book. Yep. But first we got Light the Flame by Andrew Harvey. Okay, today we've got Friedrich Nietzsche, who this is such a controversial figure. And it's interesting that Andrew Harvey includes him here. I've dug a little bit more deeply into him. And what's clear to me is that, number one, he had the best intentions, and he really wanted to uplift humanity, but he was pretty messed up as far as his perception of how to do that. I think that he's an example of how such positive intentions can go just south, because he did go insane in the end of his life. He went into a nearly catatonic state and was very ill. I think that this is an example of why we need to rely on God and what that means. His life is because he thought the best of humanity meant rising above our need for divine protection and divine love, because he thought that was a crutch that people were using, that they did, and that's what ultimately drove him mad. Now, you can't really define what divine love, divine protection, divine sustenance is. Nobody's able to get a grip on being able to define that exactly. But the people that have it know they have it, and they know enough to be grateful for it, and to and there's consequences, dire consequences, for those who spurn it, even though you can't get a grip on what it is. I think this life points to that reality. Even though a good person has this intent of uplifting humanity into its highest function, that without God isn't really, that's an oxymoron in the long run. I mean, you can try that, you can gosh, because there's people who worship God, and they use that faith in God for purposes that are not healthy, that are not, and that's something else entirely. And that's because God loves everyone, and basically we're free to use that. That's like this we're free to use it how we choose, and figuring out the right way, the best way to use it, that comes with experience and with heartbreak. But there are people out there who are using religious rhetoric in profoundly hurtful ways. That's true, but that doesn't mean that the whole idea of religion and worshiping God and relying on divine sustenance is something that's that we shouldn't do. Just because some people are, that's like saying just because there might be some people out there who use a blanket to hang themselves or to blind themselves, that doesn't mean that blankets are good for nothing. That's the same kind of logic inherent in that, saying that religion is inherently bad because people use it in bad ways. Religion is a tool. Religion is a man's language that we use to speak to God, and it's various in different cultures. But God's love is that blanket that God gives to us for us to use as we will. And that's a true gift. That's a true gift, because a true gift doesn't dictate how you have to use it. So people use it in wrong ways, and God have mercy on them and help them use this divine sustenance for good. Okay, so let's just read what Nietzsche says. Okay, give me that holy, wild laughter that laughs at death and defeat and desolation. I have seen my devil, and he is profound and grave, and in his gravity life shipwrecks and drowns. Let the God in me rise like a dancer and laugh at that devil. And of course, Nietzsche didn't really believe in God as outside of man. He meant that he saw himself as kind of a Christ figure himself. So let the God in me, the human God. That's really what I understand he saw it. And I of course, you can take this a lot of different ways. You got to look at Nietzsche himself. He's a fascinating person. But a doomed person. And I can't judge this son of God. I hope he's found peace after death in the arms of God, and he'll have maybe lessons to tell us. But yeah, his gravity life. So the devil's life, I've seen my devil, and he is profound and grave. His gravity life shipwrecks and drowns. So my devil is bound by the earth, by gravity. And the God in me rises and laughs at him. Okay. So that's Nietzsche. Okay, I'm going to let that go. Okay. All right. Yep. Let it go. Okay. Today we're going to talk about the Urantia book here. We're reading paper 26, Ministering Spirits of the Central Universe. So this is about the angels. We're talking today about section 2, the Mighty Supernaphim. And I don't know how to pronounce it. Is it Supernaphim or Supernaphim? I think I like Supernaphim. I don't know why. Supernaphim, Supernaphim. Yeah, maybe it's Supernaphim, because it's not Seraphim. It's Seraphim. Supernaphim. Let's go with that. Okay, the Mighty Supernaphim. The Supernaphim are the skilled ministers to all types of beings who sojourn on paradise and in the central universe. These high angels are created in three major orders: primary, secondary, and tertiary. Okay, so these Supernaphim are the angels of heaven. These are the highest angels, and they're the angels of heaven. Primary Supernaphim, I don't care, are the exclusive offspring of the conjoint creator. They divide their ministry about equally between certain groups of the paradise citizens and the ever-enlarging core of ascendant pilgrims. These angels of the eternal isle are highly efficacious in furthering the essential training of both groups of paradise dwellers. They contribute much that is helpful to the mutual understanding of these two unique orders of universe creatures, the one being the highest type of divine and perfect will creature, and the other the perfected evolution of the lowest type of will creature in the universe of universes. The work of the primary Supernaphim is so unique and distinctive that it will be separately considered in the succeeding narrative. Okay, so we're talking about the different kinds of so we're going to find out about the primary Supernaphim later. I don't know. Wow. In paper 27, there's a whole paper on just the primary division of the Supernaphim. Okay. Secondary Supernaphim are the directors of the affairs of ascending beings on the seven circuits of Havana. They are equally concerned in ministering to the educational training of numerous orders of paradise citizens who sojourn for long periods on the world circuits of the central creation. But we may not discuss this phase of their service. Okay. So they have some secret things going on. Okay. They minister to the educational training of numerous orders of paradise citizens who sojourn for long certain periods in the, because heaven is huge. Remember, it's huge. I always thought it was little, but it's huge. So there, you can go for long times exploring, parts of heaven and what it's like up there and different parts of it. Okay, there are 7 types of these high angels, each of origin in one of the 7 master spirits, and in 3 patterned, and in nature patterned accordingly. Okay, collectively, the 7 master spirits create many different groups of unique beings and entities, and the individual members of each order are comparatively uniform in nature. But when these same 7 spirits create individually, the resulting orders are always 7-fold in nature. The children of each master spirit partake of the nature of their creator and are accordingly diverse from the others. Such is the origin of the secondary Supernaphim, and the angels of all 7 created types function in all channels of activity open to their entire order, chiefly on the 7 circuits of the central and divine universe. Right. So when we talk about the 7 circuits, oh gosh, of the central and divine universe, the 7 circuits of Havona. Right. So they have 7-fold nature. I don't know. The 7 super universes. Right, the 7, the space levels, okay, the master universe, the universe of universes. I don't know, guys. The universe of universes talks about a lot of stuff, but part in the whole mind, matter, spirit. There's 7 circuits. What does it talk about? 7 circuits. Personal realities. Sacred spheres of paradise. Right, I remember that. I remember that. Okay. From the periphery of paradise to the inner borders of the 7 super universes, there are the following 7 space conditions and motions. Havona worlds, creatures. Yeah, I don't know, man. 7 super. Okay, yeah. I don't know. So there's 7 circuits of the divine. Okay. I'm just going to keep going. 7 circuits of the central divine universe. And it seems like we just went over that stuff, but man. How all that's organized. There's 7 circuits of the divine universe. Each of the 7 planetary circuits of Havona is under the direct supervision of one of the 7 spirits of the circuits. Okay. 7 spirits of the circuits themselves, the collective, hence uniform creation of the 7 master spirits. Though partaking of the nature of the third source and center, these 7 subsidiary spirits of Havona are not a part of the original pattern universe. Okay. Okay, they partake of the nature of the Holy Spirit. These 7 spirits of the circuits are not a part of the original pattern universe. They were in function after the original eternal creation, but long before the times of Grand Fonda. They undoubtedly appeared as a creative response of the master spirits to the emerging purpose of the Supreme Being, and they were discovered in function upon the organization of the grand universe. The infinite spirit and all his creative associates as universal coordinators seem abundantly endowed with the ability to make suitable creative responses to the simultaneous developments of the experiential deities and the evolving universes. Well, I'm glad they can do that. They can just spontaneously create something as a response. They can spontaneously create the 7 spirits of the circuits. Okay. Tertiary Supernaphim take origin in these 7 spirits of the circuits. Each one of them on the separate Havona circles is empowered by the infinite spirit to create a sufficient number of high superaphic ministers of the tertiary order to meet the needs of the central universe. While the circuit spirits produce comparatively few of these angelic ministers prior to the arrival in Havona of the pilgrims of time, the 7 master spirits did not even begin the creation of secondary Supernaphim until the landing of Grand Fonda. As the older of the 2 orders, the tertiary Supernaphim will therefore receive first consideration. The 7 masters did not even begin the creation of the secondary Supernaphim. Okay, so the tertiary Supernaphim are older, were created before the secondary Supernaphim. But the secondary Nephim are secondary because I think they came from the master spirits, which is a higher thing than the spirits of the circuits. The spirits of the circuits were also created by the master spirits. Right? And then the tertiary guys, tertiary Supernaphim came from the spirits of the circuits before the master spirits then in turn created the secondary Supernaphim. Now, the primary Supernaphim are primary because they came right from the third source and center. So that's a higher source. So the highest source is the third source and center, right? Which created this primary Supernaphim. Secondary Supernaphim were created after the tertiary Supernaphim, which are only tertiary because they were created by the 7 spirits of the circuits. Yeah, it's like when the mom and the daughter are pregnant at the same time, right? So you can be older than your uncle, sort of like that. It's kind of like that. Okay, I get it. All right, that's fine. Okay. Thank you very much for being with me here today. Next time we'll read about the tertiary Supernaphim because they were created before the secondary Supernaphim. Okay, I get it. Okay, all right. Okay, thanks a lot. We'll see you later. Have a good day. Bye.